Hello everybody, this is going to be a modification today of the iGear Hench, which of course is an homage to G1 Brawn, and this is actually my first third-party figure. I hadn't bought one before, so I thought I'd try this one. It was a low price, and that began my spiral into poverty, because these things are expensive. Anyway, yeah, I was impressed with it, so I kept buying them. Anyway, it's quite a good figure, but what I've done is tried to modify it to look more like his cartoon counterpart. In vehicle mode, it looked very accurate to the toy, and I actually had the G1 toy as a kid, and I should still have it, but I can't find it, unfortunately. I seem to have misplaced half my G1 collection. But anyway, so he kind of holds a special place in my heart, and I wanted to have him. So I did buy him, and anyway, as you can see, I have started to modify him here. So the reason I've done that is because although he looks great in this alt mode, his robot mode doesn't really quite resemble his cartoon appearance, which is what I wanted. So I'll get him into robot mode and show you what my issue was there. Now he's got kind of a fiddly transformation, because of the way his legs fold up mostly. Getting him into robot mode is not too bad, but getting him back into the alt mode is the tricky part. So I have to get his kibble out of the way here, and this is the tricky part, getting his waist rotated. I can never remember which I'm supposed to do first. Let's get everything out of the way here. Whee! Oh, brother. Yeah, I'm probably doing this wrong, but it's been a long time since I looked at the instructions. Alright, waist rotated. Now I gotta fold his legs, which is kind of clever. He's got a heel, or ankle tilt rather, because of the where the gas cans are. You can see the clever little joint they've got back there to get this to work. Okay, so now he's got his legs transformed, starting to take shape here. This needs to come up. Oh. Okay, here's the mistake. That's easy to make. I gotta separate his legs again. Yeah, that needs to be like this. I've done this wrong. I'm gonna straighten this gas tank out. Oh, that's not usually something that happens. Okay, let's try this again. Maybe this will give you a better idea of how this is supposed to work. So this is supposed to be like that. I've done this off camera. Okay, that needs to be up when these close. And then it will clear the ball and socket joint. Alright. He's ashamed of my transformation. Alrighty, let's get him. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this shoulder does actually pop out quite a bit. But everything else I would say is just my incompetence at transforming him. This is a bit stiff. Alright. Okay, there we go. That's what he looks like. Now, if you can see it. Jesus. These can be up, this folds in, this tucks away nicely. These can stay up, which is like his G1 toy, but I like to kind of tuck them in here. There's a bit of a space. You can just slot them in. And there he is, in the robot mode. After my modifications, now that's what he looks like out of the box. This is the first issue of him, and then this is the more cartoon accurate colors that they release later, which you can probably still find available for purchase online. But although I like this sort of head gear he's got here, it's, you know, like I said, it's not accurate. No, it looks like for some reason these little pieces are missing here. So this will illustrate what I did to begin with. You pop these caps out of here, and there's 2 screws. You remove the screws from here, and then you can take, well, then you can take this whole yellow assembly off. Actually, you need to remove the screw from here first. You can see the screw in his spare tire there. That has to come out, of course. And those 2, and then you can take him into his 2 major halves. So, I've already taken off the arms and doors because they're just on a ball hinge. They pop off easily. There's 1 screw to remove from here. I've already cut these, of course, but so we can take this apart now. The head comes out. Bit of a modification to the head. I just painted his face silver and took this is the other alternate face, popped this out so that I could paint his eyes a lighter blue. So they're not really showing up on camera, but they're a bit lighter now. I've used a Dremel to cut these 2 stalks off of here, and also up here to separate that, of course. Then sanded it down and put some floor polish on it to protect it. It's not perfectly smooth. I could have just done a better job on that. So this piece, let's see, what did I do here? I have cut a lot of the front off, just shaved it down to make it smaller. And I'm also going to shave these corners off, and I'll show you why in a moment. And I dabbed a little bit of clear yellow paint on the headlights and just touched it with my hand after it got tacky. So now I have a little bit of a print, so it looks a bit like a headlight now. I've also sanded this, but I need to do a bit more work here. So he still has this back panel, of course. I can't really do anything with the hood unless I could. I don't know why iGear didn't make it so it could just fold back, or so this could fold down. But anyway, let me just show you his other head, because this is the toy accurate head. I kind of like that they have that. Now the difficulty is it's very hard to turn that head around while he's surrounded by this frame here. And I don't really have big hands. I kind of have slender lady fingers, but even then I have trouble doing it. So this modification lets me access this a lot easier. So there's what he looks like compared to the toy. There's his toy head. But we want him to look like this, his badass cartoon mode, and you can see that he's got this this back plate here. He doesn't have anything around his head, which is not how this toy is made. Now, I actually got this inspiration from somebody else. I was on, I don't know, one of the Transformers forums, and I saw some clever dude had done this modification, which is very cool. He did the same thing, took it apart, but he's moved the whole back panel down, and it's quite clever. What he did is, sorry, I don't remember his name, or I'd give him some credit for it, but he made it so that you could remove this whole piece and then tab it back in the lower position that it's in. So that's good, I like that. But I didn't want to have a parts former. Well, I guess I ended up with one anyway. But I did something a little bit different, just because I felt like it. Let me just get to the point. After this comes off, you can slide it in back here, sort of stick it into place, and he looks somewhat cartoon accurate. A little better. This sort of resembles these bits here. I also painted his shoulders green to match, and I took the head apart, which is just a matter of pulling the back face plate off, and then his, which actually the eyes are attached to the other side, so I just painted those lighter blue so that they, okay, I don't want to say they pop, they have a bit more contrast, which I think looks fantastic. Contrastic? Yeah, that's my 2 impression. Okay, so back to what I was doing. After you cut those off, I sanded them down, also using the Dremel. Same thing over here, and then cut the corners down, sanded all that, sanded the little bits that were on the front of the bumper down so that it was flat enough to insert back here. It still would fit, however, it did not. It was kind of pushing his head forward like that, so he was always looking down. So I had to take those pieces off and also sand out a bit of a bit of a hollow channel here so that it would accommodate his round head. And then it just pops in like so. And I kept these here. I cut these down a little bit so that it would fit, but left them there so that it would hold that panel in place. And I'm pretty happy with how it looks overall. So it's better, you know, but it's not perfect. And in the end, I actually just decided to go ahead and buy myself a bad cube brawny, which hopefully will be here in a few days. Because, let's face it, that looks a lot more like the cartoon, and, well, this looks nothing like the toy, but it does look like the Land Rover Discovery, upon which he was based originally, and how he was drawn in the cartoon. Anyway, if you do have the iGear Hench, it's still a great figure, and if you want to do that modification, so there you have it, iGear Hench, Transfixed.